Hi, my name is Amanda Crew. I play Eve in Some Other Woman, and you are watching Pop Culture with Pat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I am so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today I'm talking to Amanda Crew, who plays Eve in the film Some Other Woman. Thank you so much for your time today, Amanda.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome. So yeah, I got to check out the film, and it's a wild ride from start to finish. And so I'm really curious for you when you initially got the script and you were reading through it, what was kind of your initial reaction? Because it's one of those films that makes you think and it leaves things open, at least in my opinion, for interpretation with how certain events play out. So I'm curious how that kind of read for you when you were going through it the first time.
Yeah, it was one of those scripts that I just immediately connected with the character and what she was navigating through. Just sometimes it doesn't always click like that, but I really resonated with her journey. Not that I had gone through literally the same thing, but I had my own experience with kind of navigating similar themes of kind of, living the life that you had been sold and by society and like conditioned to believe is like what you should be going after and chasing that only to find that it's not everything you wanted, and then kind of the fallout from that. Like that's I feel like usually the stories kind of like get to that point, but like we kind of almost just start at that point in this film and kind of the fallout of that of like everything you believe to be true no longer making sense for you, and the kind of dismantling all of that, and then what that does to your psyche and this disruption of all of that, and kind of feeling unanchored in life anymore because you don't have these things that you felt were so certain. I went through my own experience with that. And so reading the script, I immediately resonated with that, with Eve's journey. And so yeah, from the get-go was just like, oh, I really get this and I want to do it.
Yeah, it's not every project that I feel that sometimes you have such a personal connection to a character like that. And I feel like a lot of people I know I can that people can relate to kind of losing a sense of self at some point in their lives. We all kind of go through, some kind of journey one way or another. And yeah, so I found that aspect of it really interesting. And she goes through quite an emotional journey throughout the film. How did you kind of tap into her mindset for that? And was there anything that you did particularly as far as like just like prepping for the role? I mean, I know you said you kind of had like a personal connection to it, so
Yeah, it was every film or role I do, the prep is very different. But for this one, because I felt like really connected to her, it was more just kind of really it kind of felt like therapy in a way, which is controversial. But like it felt kind of cathartic to kind of really safely go through that experience again through this character, and just know that like I was, when you're going through it in your real life, there isn't that safety of like, you're just experiencing like you
yeah,
don't
you're
know
just going
how
through it.
things turn out. Yeah. And so it actually felt really good to kind of get to, it's like I got to go back to that place with that safety and explore it. And so it was actually really healing for me because I was able to kind of discover, stuff for myself that was really healing, and then bring also my own personal experience to the character, which is why I love acting. And you don't always get to have that experience. And so I think that's why this film like will forever remain kind of as like one of those top three experiences for me, because it was so personal. And I really felt, usually when you do a role like this, it's really hard to shed it at the end when you wrap. You're just like, whoa, it was like emotionally just gutting and raw. And, you're just kind of shakily walking away from it. But this one, I actually felt like I was walking away just like super strong and healed in a way. It felt like a rebirth for me personally, which I will selfishly claim.
No, yeah, I mean, I love that. It's, when you can do that with a role. I mean, that must just feel really, yeah, like you said, really rewarding too. And you guys had an amazing cast. You know, you got to work with Tom Felton, you got to work with Ashley Greene, working with Tom. You know, he plays your husband in the film. How did you guys kind of develop that chemistry with each other? And what does he bring as a scene partner that you really appreciate?
I love this question because I will gush about Tom for the rest of my life. Like I hadn't seen any Harry Potter films.
A lot
So
of
I
people
went.
are like, "Oh my God."
I know. It's like, don't say that out loud. They'll come for you. But I think it worked to my benefit because I just saw him as, my scene partner and um, colleague, as opposed to like knowing him through such an iconic movie and role. But Tom is just, I think sometimes like if you've had success like that as a child, it can kind of hinder yourself in your adult career, but that's not true for him. He's such an exceptional actor. He really is so available and present, and I think that's why the chemistry with us was so easy and like didn't need to be kind of worked for, because he's there and he puts everything into it, and he's just so easy to work with because he has like this kind of ping pong energy. Like he's just like this, like he's just boom, 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 boom. And it's just like he just brings all this energy and it's so much to play off of, and was actually like a really good counter to Eve because Eve's kind of in this, introspective period and she's not so out of her shell. And so he really balanced that out because I think it could have been really like weighted and heavy. And he has a really tricky role because you could easily hate him. Um and you don't. And I think he did such a good job and finding that balance of you don't hate him, but you also understand where Eve's coming from. And I think he had like probably the hardest job of any of the roles, and he just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I definitely get that with that ping pong energy that you're talking about going back and forth, especially early on in the
Yeah, yeah, those first scenes, he's just like, bing, 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 bing. It's like, what's going on?
it's like, man, sometimes I wish I had that much energy just, in
No, and
everyday
it's
life.
so effortless from him. He's really, I don't know. I was really amazed by his ability to just kind of take things that on the page seem kind of flat and bring so much life to them. And then it was really cool to see the way that what that brought out of Ashley too in their stuff. Which I thought she just did such an exceptional like job with her part and all of it. And I didn't get to see obviously what they were filming together until I saw the movie, and she did such a good job to the point where like I was still kind of watching the movie as Eve, and so I was like found myself like, wait, you guys had so much fun. Like it's just like jealous. Like, wait, you guys had a really beautiful relationship. I thought she just did such an incredible job with her part of all of the world building and everything.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what it was like going toe to toe with her because you guys definitely share some pretty emotional scenes between the two of you without going into any spoilers. So I imagine that must have been a lot of fun just to bounce off each other in those scenes.
Yeah, no, she was so fun to work with, and she's so like, again, without giving away spoilers, there was some scenes that really were demanding emotionally, but also physically.
Yeah.
And she is such a like she's so tough that I had to like at times I was like, I'm tired, but she's like, let's go, and I'm like, okay, we're going. So she really motivated me and inspired me, and I really really enjoyed working with her. It was really collaborative, and yeah, I think she's just so talented.
Well, to switch away from the film for a second, I wanted to bring up something that I had found in one of my DVD boxes that, let's see if so it's a
Yay!
free ticket. Like the weird thing is like it's the box with like one, two, and three. And so this was in there. I'd already seen the film, but this was in there and I found it not too long ago. So I wanted to just ask you where that a little bit over a year from now, it's going to be turning 20 years old. So just reflecting back on Final Destination 3, or like what are some of the memories that come to your mind first, and what does it mean to be a part of a franchise? We have another film that's supposed to be coming out next year.
Yeah, I mean, you never know when you're doing it that it's going to be that. That was my first movie ever, which now I look back, I'm like, how lucky were you that that was your first movie ever? I met my best friend on that film. Like Mary Elizabeth Winstead is my dearest friend, which I think is so cool. And now TikTok's feeding me like Julie Christensen like stan videos, and I'm like, oh my God, what an iconic character. Um, just middle finger, like teenage angst. And I'm like, I really love her. But yeah, so it's really cool to be a part of that, and wild that I still get recognized for that because it's like my friends' kids are buying it, like like as like not ironically, like it's just like, ooh, this is cool. And what's really neat is that the new Final Destination that's coming out was directed by Adam Stein and Zach Lipovsky, who I did a movie with called Freaks like 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
This was like their passion project that they put together, bootstrapped it, and turned out to be this like, huge cult following indie film. And is part of like how they got this huge studio film, which is so exciting to see them like get to do a huge studio movie franchise, and that I got to work with them. So it's like it's really cool full circle moment with all of it. I can't wait to see. I know that they like I'm I know that it's going to be like an incredible film. They're just so talented, and I feel like they're going to bring a fresh take to it, which it's like it's time for like a new twist.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. I mean, the Final Listening franchise is just such a fun franchise overall, and three though definitely stands up there as like one of my favorites in the film. So, Amanda, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. Make sure you guys check out Some Other Woman, and yeah, you are welcome back anytime in the future.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Amanda Carew. I play Eve in Some Other Woman, and you are watching Pop Culture with Pat.